Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
New at 6, a sheriff's office in Florida has officially identified the body of an 18-year-old found in a retention pond there. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Eric Miller. Giovanni Pelletier, that's that young man's name. He was last seen in Brevard County, Florida on August 1st. His phone last pinged in Manatee County near where his body was found yesterday. WRAL's Kirsten Clark is live for us tonight in Fuquay Arena. Kirsten, Giovanni's family says this is their nightmare.
Eric, according to the Manatee County Sheriff's Office, Pelletier's body was found in a retention pond off the highway. As you mentioned, this was near the area where his cell phone was last pinged. His mother also confirmed that her son's body was recovered via Facebook, saying that it was discovered during a desperate search by the family. Now, the last Pelletier's mother heard from her son was in a chilling text message he sent her on August 1st that read, "Mom, help." This was shortly after Giovanni went to hang out with his cousins around 1:30 in the morning. His cousins told the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office Giovanni was acting erratically before exiting the vehicle and walking away. But Gio's family has concerns about the cousins changing their story. And Giovanni's bag and phone were found left on the side of the road. Today I spoke with Bill Lane with We Are the Essentials. It's a group of former law enforcement and military members who were heavily involved in the search for Gio, along with his family. Lane tells me the family fought through pain and tears for days searching for the beloved teenager.
This is horrible, and this is the reason that we exist, to prevent this from happening. Our job is to be out there and do everything that we can to be that one that bears that burden. So the family, and thank God, and I pray every night, and that the family themselves, weren't the ones who actually did it. It was an extension of the family. And even for those people who are not trained and who hasn't dealt with death before, this is traumatic.
The cause of death is still unknown. Deputies with the Manatee County Sheriff's Office say an autopsy is scheduled for tomorrow. We are still working to learn as much as we can about the investigation into what happened to Giovanni in Florida. But for now, live in Fuquay, Kirsten Clark, WRAL News.
Just an awful situation. Kirsten, thank you very much. Well, we're drying out a little for the weekend, but rain chances do return for us on Monday. Meteorologist Grant Skinner is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, and Grant, a lot more sunshine today compared to the past couple of days.
Yeah, nice to see it outside. This is a beautiful view from Southern Pines today with just some clouds in the distance. We've had some more breaks in the cloud cover, not only during the back half of the day yesterday, but also today. And it's been a welcome sight after some really gloomy days. A lot of rainfall over the past week and staying well below average for our temperatures. We're slowly inching towards somewhat close to average, but it's still cooler out there just a bit. Still warm, but cooler than average. Dual Doppler 5000 showing a couple of brief showers to the south and west, as I've mentioned over the past couple of hours. If you've watched on News Plus or checked our website, some brief showers are possible in our southeastern spots today, but most everyone remains dry throughout the course of this evening with some isolated storms possible tomorrow. Temperatures in the low 80s still, so a bit warmer than yesterday and a bit warmer tomorrow as well. I'll let you know how warm we'll get, and we'll talk more about those rain chances as we head into your Sunday and the next week coming up.
Grant, thank you very much. Wake County Sheriff's deputies were patrolling Harris Lake yet again today, 1 week after a 10-year-old girl was killed and a woman critically injured in a boat crash. 2 people charged in that crash face a judge this week, while one of the victim's relatives continues to warn of the consequences of reckless boating. WRAL's Flynn Snyder has the story.
Jennifer Staley, the woman who needed a leg amputation after being hit by a boat at Harris Lake last week, faces an uncertain path forward. That's according to her sister-in-law, Christy Staley, who spoke on the phone Saturday only with WRAL.
Jennifer is able to communicate briefly when she is awake, but she's still in the early stages of a long recovery.
The crash also killed 10-year-old Brooklyn Carroll, who was laid to rest on Friday. The boat's operator, Quentin Kite, is charged with driving a vessel while under the influence. Boat owner and Kite's girlfriend, Anne-Marie Flanagan, was also arrested in connection to the crash. On Friday, Sky 5 video captured the 22-foot-long boat that investigators took into evidence.
A week after the incident at Harris Lake, boating activities continue, with many visitors telling me they're going on the water with heightened vigilance.
You want to look around and be, okay, am I in a high traffic area? Am I not in a high traffic area when I'm jumping off this boat? I think that you will pay a little extra attention before you do that. maybe today and in the next coming weeks.
Scott Adamick has been boating at Harris Lake for more than a year. He says the incident is a wake-up call for boaters to change behavior to ensure safety on the water.
We know it's a reality, same thing with in a car, but you just hope that people keep it within a limit that they can still control and be safe.
We saw Wake County Sheriff's deputies watching as people launched their boats. A Sheriff's Office spokesperson says in a statement, this weekend, as they have been throughout the summer, deputies will be on both Falls and Harris Lakes, patrolling the waterway and assisting boaters. In the wake of last week's crash, Christy Staley is calling for stepped-up patrols.
If there's more, law enforcement actually enforcing the laws, maybe hopefully this will never happen to another family.
Flint Snyder, WRAL News, Harris Lake.
And Christy Staley also shared a statement with us today from Jennifer Staley's husband, Justin. It reads in parts, we want to thank our community from the bottom of our hearts for the incredible love, support, and prayers that you've poured out for us and for both of our families during this unimaginable time. Your kindness, your generosity, and your faith have been a light in the darkest days of our lives. A GoFundMe campaign to help Jennifer Staley's recovery has now raised more than $108,000. One person was injured in a shooting in Raleigh this afternoon. It happened on Tralee Place at around 1:30 p.m. Our breaking news tracker got this video from the scene. Raleigh police say they found a man with a gunshot wound. He was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. One person was questioned, but no charges have been filed at this time. Police say there's no threat to the public. First responders rushed two men to the hospital after an early morning shooting at a Raleigh nightclub. One of them is critically hurt. The other's injuries, not life-threatening. This happened around 3:30 a.m. in the parking lot of Patio Nightclub on New Bern Avenue. So far, there have been no arrests, but police say in this case as well, no ongoing danger to the public. We've learned the names of two people who died in what police are calling a domestic violence shooting at a Cary apartment complex. This happened yesterday at Windsor at Tryon Village Apartments. That's just off Walnut Street. Police say 55-year-old Majda Masri and her estranged husband, 60-year-old Abdul Rajab, died in that scene. Radio traffic indicates it may have been a murder-suicide. Family members say the two were from Syria and the parents to 3 adult children. One man is dead after a crash on Barber Mill Road in Johnston County. It happened just before 9 last night. State Highway Patrol says 79-year-old Gus Drelos died after his car crossed the center line and hit an SUV head-on. The driver and 2 passengers in that SUV had minor injuries. Investigators say the driver had been drinking and was charged with a DWI. One man died in a crash involving a moped and another vehicle in Rocky Mount. This happened just before 8:30 last night at the intersection of Cooley Road and South Church Street. Police say the vehicle and the moped collided. The moped's rider died there at the scene. This is still all under investigation, and no names have been released at this time. Tonight, we're learning more about a North Carolina man who died while hiking in a remote and rugged section of Washington State. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office says Akash Gopalakrishnan was hiking in the High Enchantment Mountains with 3 friends last Sunday. Gopalakrishnan went for a swim in a lake when he began to cramp up. He was underwater for 5 minutes before his friends managed to pull him out and start CPR. Army medics flown in by helicopter tried for over an hour to revive him. Gopalakrishnan was 30 years old. He was a software developer for Red Hat. Kinston police are justifying their use of force following an arrest that went viral on social media last month. A warning, that video is hard to watch. The city sent out a report from the department on its investigation into the use of force and arrest of 18-year-old Cameron Williams on July 13th. In the video, the officer can be seen punching Williams multiple times. The Internal Affairs report reads in part, quote, the state of North Carolina allows these types of strikes, and it is taught in basic law enforcement training. An external independent review also concluded that the use of force was reasonable. One person was seriously burned and 2 pets were killed after a house caught fire in Morrisville. It happened just before 7 a.m. on Downing Glen Drive. Firefighters rescued 1 person from the home. A second escaped through a second-story window. The rescued person was treated at the scene and taken to the UNC Burn Center. The other person had no injuries and was arrested on an unrelated warrant by Morrisville police. A dog and a cat died in that fire. Another cat was thankfully revived. More than 3.5 years after a massive fire at a fertilizer plant in Winston-Salem, thousands of people could soon get paid. About 6,500 people who lived within a 1-mile radius of the Weaver fertilizer plant could be eligible for a portion of an $8 million settlement. The fire, which forced evacuations, left many scrambling to find temporary housing and deal with unexpected expenses. The settlement was reached in a North Carolina Superior Court this week. A formal agreement is expected to be finalized by August 31st. Well, celebrating new puppies. 5 litters of an endangered species were born on the North Carolina coast this year. More on what this means for the tiny population. Plus, record-breaking cocktail. How much money a group of Texans spent on a Bloody Mary in Holly Springs, and how many records it broke. And if you see breaking news, have a story tip, or shoot video or pictures of our weather, please report it to us. Go to WRAL.com/report it to send your video, pictures, or tip to our news team. We'll be right back. Welcome back. A Holly Springs restaurant broke 3 Guinness World Records today. The Blind Pelican made a giant Bloody Mary, yet I know that doesn't look like a Bloody Mary. Promise you it is. It came in at a total of $7,605. A group of Texans paid for that enormous cocktail and flew into North Carolina to drink it. It broke records for being the largest and most expensive garnished Bloody Mary ever. The most expensive Bloody Mary ever sold in a bar or restaurant, and the largest Bloody Mary to feed the most amount of people, with 100 splitting the drink. Well, great news on the North Carolina coast. The Red Wolf Recovery Program has confirmed the birth of 4 wild litters of red wolf pups on the Albemarle Peninsula. It's home to the only population of wild red wolves in the whole country. 5 red wolf pairs are spread across the peninsula with an estimated population of 18 adults and 10 to 12 pups. Red wolves are a critically endangered species. Well, some more good news, Grant, as we're taking a look at the map behind you. It looks like the tropical systems we've got out in the Atlantic are keeping themselves away from North Carolina for now. That's right. No threats to us currently. Watching a couple of areas, though, so I want to give you an update on the tropics first. Before we get into your rain chances for Sunday and next week, watching one area in the central Atlantic, it's moving to the north and has a low chance of formation. So I was concerned about that. We're going to have to watch this area that's pushing off the west coast of Africa. It's a tropical wave. It'll move to the west and northwest. Over time, it will have some slow tropical development. Right now, it is too early to know the exact track or the intensity of this system because there's no center of circulation yet. But once it has a more defined center of circulation, forecast models will have a better grasp of the exact track. And we'll always keep an eye on it. But as of now, there are no impacts expected from that system currently. And we're going to just continue to watch the tropics for you. For your Sunday, some isolated showers and storms are possible, mainly to the south. Then by Monday, a bit cooler thanks to a higher chance for showers and storms. The rest of the week, a slow warm up, and with that, more storms will be possible. These are going to be hit or miss showers and storms, and with that, some localized flooding can't be ruled out. Here's WRAL Garner Tower camera showing some scattered clouds. Otherwise, a lot more sunshine than many days over the past week, which has been a welcome sight. And Dual Doppler 5000 is mostly dry, maybe a couple of brief showers to the south and east, but otherwise, it's really, really quiet out there. Temperatures in the upper 70s and low 80s into this evening. 82 in Raleigh. 79, Roxborough, Goldsboro is at 81 degrees, Fayetteville is at 82, and overnight tonight, low 60s to mid 60s in the Triangle, then upper 60s and low 70s closer to the Sandhills, 72 Fayetteville tomorrow morning, 68 Raleigh, and 64 degrees to start your Sunday in South Hill. So planning out your day tomorrow, temperatures by around 11 a.m., noon at around 80 degrees, and by the afternoon, mid 80s, so a touch warmer than today, but still not overly hot out there. And we'll have a chance for some isolated showers and storms. We're checking our next weather maker. This is going to be a boundary just to the south of our area. And with that, an increased chance for showers and storms, mainly along the coastline and areas of the south towards South Carolina. But some of those isolated storms could make their way north into portions of our area. And then by Monday, as it continues to move to the north, we could have a better chance for showers and storms then. But I think the best chance for storms will be just to the south of our area. We'll just watch for some of those storms to move in off of that boundary. So 30% rain chance for your Sunday from around 5 p.m. through 10 o'clock. So not everyone will see these storms, but those isolated storms are possible, mainly to the south. And with that, that best risk for some localized flooding is going to be just to the south of our area. Some parts of Sampson County are included in that. So you could see some localized flooding. I think the best chance for showers and storms, though, comes on Monday. And with that, some slightly cooler temperatures, low to mid 80s. Watching the warm up, though, low to mid 90s by parts of next week. And with that, we'll have some hit or miss showers and storms still, but not as cool as last week. So if you're a fan of the warmer temperatures, you've got it here soon. Yeah, Grant, thank you very much. All right, to some drama now out there on the soccer pitch, Pat.
Yeah, that's right. We've heard from the Courage front office about the firing of Sean Nahas. Now we finally heard from one of the players. That's coming up next. And how do you become the next Andrei Svechnikov? More lighthearted story here. Learn from the man himself. Next. The Courage lost in the 95th minute last night. Heartbreaking. But the reaction to that, a distant second to the team's first chance to respond since Sean Nahas was suddenly fired. Nahas let go Wednesday, 2 days before a game for, quote, a multitude of factors. Chief Soccer Officer Kerry Bowley's vague and at times combative press conference led the Courage to provide an updated statement last night. The termination stemmed from a combination of compounding performance issues, culture issues, and a perceived lack of fit, which created an environment club leadership felt was untenable and needed to make a change at the head coach position. Acting head coach Nathan Thackeray and team captain Denise O'Sullivan gave their take on the culture issues after the game.
I think it's probably just an accumulation of things over time, and to be honest, to being a head coach in this league now for 4 years, eventually there's some things that happen and maybe affect the culture or impact the culture. And
look, throughout the whole season, the culture of this team has been absolutely amazing. That's one of the main priorities as a captain of this team, is to make sure that the culture is fantastic. And yeah, I think the news hit us with a shock for everyone.
Deferring takes there. Keep in mind, Thackeray technically auditioning for this front office. O'Sullivan was Nahas's handpicked captain. My kids are interested in hockey, so I took them to work with me this morning. Not only did they get to see other kids playing, they met one of their heroes, Andrei Svechnikov, making a surprise appearance, a moment my kids and all the little number 37s out there won't forget. Somewhere in this sea of number 37s could be the next Andrei Svechnikov. Look hard enough and you might find the real thing.
I remember myself, I tried to skate with some professional guys or something like that. That was best memories as a kid, you can have it, and I tried to make those memories for the kids.
Svech back after a month and a half in Russia to work with kids in the Hurricanes' first goal program.
Hi. I was a kid and we had, obviously, we had a small town, and but we had a few famous guys from my city, and in the summertime we always had a camp, and that was the best memories you can imagine.
Svech is a sponsor of the program, which is run by the Canes, the NHL, and the NHL Players Association to help reduce the cost to get kids into hockey.
All the kids on the ice are wearing number 37 Svechnikov for a reason. They're looking up to him as their heroes to one day maybe put on a Hurricanes jersey and be just like him.
Former Cane Shane Willis is Carolina's Director of Youth Hockey and Community Outreach. He's seen the impact first goal was made in its 8 years.
We know not all of them are going to continue on. It may not be for them, but we've seen a huge boost in our numbers, both on the boys' side and on the female side as well.
Svech is coaching up the kids today, but soon he'll be in training camp with the new and improved Hurricanes roster.
We got a lot better this half season, and obviously we got to get together, build the chemistry, all that stuff. New guys got to learn the system, but excited to have them and see how it's going to work for us.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
And shout out to the girls from Pitt County, North Carolina. They made it all the way to the semifinals of the Little League Softball World Series. They lose right here to Indiana today, 2-0 in Greenville. Yeah, they're from Winterville. Eric, they actually won the whole thing last year, so an incredible run these girls have been on.
No, absolutely. Not quite a dynasty, but you know what? It's as close as you can get. Second best there. Pat, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And thank you for joining us here this evening. We'll have much more for you tonight at 10 and 11 o'clock. Have a good night, everybody.